in the Middle East, because despite the mounting challenges in the Gaza Strip, the World Food Programme, WFP, has reached around 815,000 people with some form of aid in this November 2024. And of course, about 500,000 of people received a single food parcel, considered to be 1/3 of the normal monthly ratio, while around 300,000 people have received hot meals. Mamadi Barrow again tells us more of that in this report.
The situation in northern Gaza is deteriorating even further, and virtually the entire area is under evacuation orders, with thousands of families forced to flee amid intense airstrike and military operations. Millions of people have run out of ways to cope, food systems have collapsed, and the risk of famine persists. The latest Integrated Food Security Phase Classification (IPC) snapshot, which uses global scientific standards, projects that over 1.95 million people in Gaza will face acute food insecurity over the coming months. The World Food Programme has been on the ground in Gaza since the onset of the crisis to deliver life-saving food every day despite the mounting challenges, but without access, it is impossible to reach people in need. As the people of Gaza struggle to survive another winter, living in makeshift shelters, the amount of food assistance reaching them are at their lowest levels in a year, with almost all of them displaced. The heavy rain and wind is damaging the makeshift shelters. Many children are without shoes. Abu Muhammad, one of the displaced persons, deeply expressed his frustration with regards to the current situation in Gaza and fearing that his kids may die out of starvation. We are displaced from the north. I came from a Rimal area. I have 3 kids. The oldest is 11 and the youngest is 1 year and 3 months. I swear that I feed them bread and tea. If I go home without this bread bundle, my kids will starve to death. World Food Programme supported bakeries across the strip are shut or risk closure daily due to the lack of wheat flour and fuel. Palestine Country Director of World Food Programme, Antoine Renard, is also deeply concerned about the prevailing hunger levels in Gaza.
The levels of hunger, devastation and destruction we are seeing now in Gaza is worse than ever before. People cannot cope anymore. There is barely any food coming in while markets are empty. Now with the rain and winter sweeping away tents, it is a daily struggle for survival.
The escalating conflict in the north and breakdown of the public order in the south risks tipping Gaza into famine. Gaza is currently facing unacceptable levels of food insecurity. No fresh food, empty shops, bakeries nearly non-operable. The humanitarian response in Gaza is nearing collapse as the threat of famine gets closer. The breakdown of law and order and disregard of international humanitarian principles are placing humanitarian staff, operations, and the people of Gaza at increasing risks. Food insecurity in Gaza is worsening, with people becoming more vulnerable by the day. November is the 3rd month in a row where more than half of the population who rely on WFP assistance did not receive it. Barely any food has gone into North Gaza for 50 days. World Food Programme was able to bring just 26% of the needed 7,900 metric tons of food into Gaza in November. More than 90% of the population expected to be in crisis level of food insecurity or worse from November according to the latest IPC. Reporting for Eyeafrica News, I am Mamadi Barrow.